Hollyoaks Jez faces deadly danger, and 3 other characters at serious risk. The final Hollyoaks episode before the show's 30th anniversary week has arrived, and it's packed with tension, revenge, and life-threatening twists. As the big milestone approaches, several residents are staring death in the face, and the countdown to tragedy has begun. At the start of the latest episode, Clare Devine discovered through her recent fling with Peri Lomax, who she had been manipulating for information, that teens Lucas Hay, Dylan Ray, Frankie Osborne, and Vicky Grant will all be away in Liverpool next week, meaning they'll miss Tony and Diane Hutchinson's wedding. Clare was clearly frustrated by the news, as she had planned to take her revenge on them at the ceremony. She later visited Jez at the storage unit where he's been hiding, breaking the news that their plan was cancelled. Jez, however, refused to accept that. "You're not seeing the full picture," he told her. "If you really want those kids to pay, there are better ways. Their families will all be at the wedding. Darren, Nancy, Mispa, think about it. That's a much bigger target. By tomorrow, you'll have made sure those grieving kids never forget the pain." Not long after, Clare crossed paths with her former flame, Dodger Savage, at the club. Unaware that he was also using her for intel, she listened as he opened up about his guilt over Jez's previous killings, blaming himself for letting the murderer escape. "I keep letting people down," Dodger admitted. "My family, my friends, and those kids, Tori especially. I want to be their protector, not the one who ruins their lives." His words seemed to strike a nerve with Clare, who reflected on how kind and trusting Tori was. Both agreed that she deserved to be kept safe, no matter what. That moment of conscience sent Clare back to Jez's hideout, determined to make things right and protect Tori. But Jez wasn't moved. "It's far too late for that," he sneered, prompting Clare to turn on him. After a violent struggle, Clare ignited a gas canister and locked Jez inside the container, leaving him trapped and facing certain death. As the episode ended, one question remained. Can Clare undo Jez's deadly scheme and save everyone attending the wedding before it's too late? Hollyoaks star Lewis Emmerich reveals his reaction after learning about Brookside crossover. Lewis Emmerich has admitted he thought he was being written out of Hollyoaks when executive producer Hannah Cheers first told him about the upcoming Brookside crossover. The 65-year-old actor, who currently plays Detective Donnie Clark in the Channel 4 soap, is still best known to fans for his long-running role as Mick Johnson in Brookside, which he appeared in for 12 years. As Hollyoaks gears up for its 30th anniversary celebrations, a special crossover episode will air on Wednesday, October 22nd, and Louis has teased that viewers can expect some major twists. Speaking about the storyline, he shared, "The character Froggy Black, played by John Middleton, has just turned up and is really shaking Donnie up because he knows a huge secret Donnie's been hiding. Nothing is as it seems, and it's all linked to the Brookside crossover. Let's just say the House of Cards is about to fall." Liverpool Echo reports. Louis recalled that when Hannah Cheers first mentioned the crossover earlier this year, he thought she was joking. "One day, Hannah asked me to meet her in a park," he explained. "I honestly thought I was getting my P45. We started walking and talking, and she began to tell me about this idea. At first, I thought it had to be an April Fool, but she was so enthusiastic that I couldn't help but get caught up in it. I think viewers are going to love it." Lewis originally joined Brookside for what was supposed to be just one episode, but he went on to appear in 1037. "I came in as a guest character," he remembered. "The story was about Terry Sullivan doing a driving job for a cab firm where Mick worked. They went to pick something up from a house. Terry thought it was furniture, but Mick knew it was a dead body. Mick went off to the bookies. Terry knocks on the door. This old lady lets him in and shows him upstairs, and sure enough, there's a dead man in the bed." He laughed, adding, "I turned up later. Terry was furious. It was a brilliant episode, and Phil Redmond seemed really pleased with it." Hollyoaks star thought Brookside crossover was an April Fool's joke from his boss. Lewis Emmerich has revealed he initially thought Hollyoaks boss Hannah Cheers was playing a prank on him when she told him about plans for the upcoming Brookside crossover episode. The 65-year-old actor, who currently stars as Detective Donnie Clark in the Channel 4 soap, is best known for his 12-year stint as Mick Johnson in Brookside. To mark Hollyoaks' 30th anniversary, a special crossover episode will air on Wednesday, October 22nd, and Louis has hinted at what fans can expect from the milestone installment. He explained, "The character Froggy Black, played by John Middleton, has recently turned up and is really getting under Donnie's skin because he knows a massive secret Donnie's been keeping. Nothing is what it seems, and it's definitely linked to the Brookside crossover. Let's just say everything's about to come crashing down." Liverpool Echo reports. Louis recalled that when producer Hannah Cheers first told him about the storyline earlier this year, he was convinced she was winding him up. "One day I was asked to meet Hannah in a park," he said. "I honestly thought I was being sacked and getting my P45. We started walking and she began explaining the crossover plot. At first, I thought it had to be an April Fool, but she was so enthusiastic I couldn't help getting caught up in it. It's going to be great fun for viewers." Lewis originally joined Brookside for what was meant to be just one appearance, but ended up staying for 1,037 episodes. "I came in as a guest role," he remembered. "The story involved Terry Sullivan doing a driving job for a cab company where Mick worked. They went to pick something up from a house. Terry thought it was furniture, but Mick knew it was a dead body. Mick went off to the bookies, and when Terry knocked on the door, an old lady let him in and showed him upstairs, and there was the corpse." He laughed, adding, "I turned up later. Terry was furious. It was such a great episode, and Phil Redmond seemed really pleased with it." Since his Brookside days, Louis has also appeared in other popular TV dramas, including Doctors and Casualty. Hollyoaks brings back major character tonight, in shocking 30th anniversary twist. In the final Hollyoaks episode before the soap's huge 30th anniversary week, Darren Osborne takes extreme measures to get revenge on Tony Hutchinson for betraying him, but his plan takes an unexpected turn when he runs into someone fans never thought they'd see again. As Darren's downward spiral with drinking and gambling worsened, he recently picked up Mercedes' phone and answered a call from a mystery person offering to take Tony out permanently. That mysterious caller turned out to be none other than Warren Fox. In tonight's episode, Darren and Warren finally meet to discuss the deadly deal. When Darren admits he doesn't have the money to fund a hit, Warren suggests a high-stakes poker game in town to raise the cash. At the table, Darren vents about Tony being the biological father of Nancy's daughter Morgan, and his determination to make sure Tony never learns the truth. But things go from bad to worse when Darren loses big, ending the night with no winnings and no way to pay for the hit. On his way out, he notices multiple missed calls and messages from Nancy, but all of that is forgotten when he spots someone who should be dead, James Nightingale. Fans will remember that James was presumed dead after the devastating car explosion that also left Stay Hay in a coma for over a year. When Stay eventually woke up, he was told that his husband hadn't survived the blast. Shocked and drunk, Darren confronts James, demanding to know how he's alive and where he's been all this time. James insists that Darren must keep his return a secret, and Darren agrees, but only in exchange for money. Back in the village, an unaware Stay opens up to Leela, explaining that he's had to lock away his grief for James and can't face those feelings again. The following day, James drives Darren back to the village and gives him a wad of cash. Darren promises to stay quiet about what he's seen. However, Peri catches sight of James behind the wheel and immediately recognizes him. Darren quickly covers, claiming the man was just a business contact who happened to look like James. Soon after, Darren calls Warren to say he's got the money and insists the hit on Tony must happen today, right in the middle of Tony's wedding. Meanwhile, Warren bids farewell to the mysterious Gemma, promising he'll return later, before heading straight for the village to set his plan in motion. But will Warren really go through with killing Tony? And how has James managed to return from the dead after all this time? Hollyoaks airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, with its Channel 4 streaming premiere at 7 a.m.